Hello, Lovelace, and welcome to your maths lesson for today. We're carrying on with our multiplication, but today we're moving it on another step. This time, we're going to try and multiply two two-digit numbers together. Now, this can be quite tricky, so stick with it, keep practicing. And one thing I would say is the work you submit, please make sure you're showing me examples from throughout the lesson. I've had a couple of examples recently where they've had a go at the little warm-up tasks at the beginning, but I've not seen any work from later in the lesson. Okay, now I know some of these will be tricky, and I am sure along the way we're going to make a few mistakes, but that's not a problem. That's absolutely fine. I would rather see your mistakes and see what we don't understand so we can move forward together than you not putting in any work at all. So I have no idea how much you understand and how much you're not sure about. Okay, so what I'm asking, guys, is however tricky, you have a go. Let me see how you're getting on. If we were in the classroom together, I would be able to see your books, but I can only see what you upload. So let me see how you're getting on. I'm really interested to find out which things we're finding easy and straightforward and which things we're finding more difficult. Okay, well, let's crack on with today. Again, we'll start with a few little warm-ups. Pause your video and see if you can complete these few questions. Okay, first of all, 3 times 8 is 24. Now we've got 30 times 8 here. Similar type of question. The 0 is the only difference. So if we've got 1 0 in the question, we're going to have 1 0 in the answer. So 3 times 8 is 24. With the 0 gives us 240. 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times something is 420. Well, we know that 6 times 7 is 42. There is a 0 there. So let's put a 0 in here as well. So 7 and a 0, 70. 22 multiplied by 13. We're going to use the grid for this one. So let's have a look. Let's partition these numbers. We've got 20 and 2, 22. And we've got 10 and 3 for 13. And we're going to multiply each part of the grid. So we'll start with 10 times 20. Well, that's 200 because 1 times 2 is 2. There are 2 zeros in our question, so we've got 2 zeros in our answer. 10 times 2 is 20. 3 times 20 is 60. And 3 times 2 is 6. And we add together all the numbers in the white area of the grid. So that gives us 286. Now, this next question is very similar. We did 22 times 13. So 13 lots of 22. And here we've got 14 lots of 22. So actually, it's just one lot of 22 more. So if we add 22 onto this, we'll have 14 lots of 22. And that's 308. Just a little shortcut there to move us forward. Right, let's have a look at this one. 23 multiplied by 31. Let's do our partitioning. 20 and 3, 30 and 1. And let's build these together. 30 multiplied by 20. Well, we do 3 times 2, which is 6. And then we've got 2 zeros in the question. So we've got 2 zeros in our answer. 3 times 2 is 6. And then 1, 2 zeros, 1, 2 zeros. 30 times 3. Well, it's 3 times 3, which is 9. And there's 1 0 there. So 90. 20 times 1. 1 times table, we can all do that. 1 times 20 is 20, and 1 times 3 is 3. And if we add all these numbers together that are white, we will get a total of 713. Okay. Now, that's the grid way or area way of completing that calculation. We can also do long multiplication. Now, some of you may have heard or even had a go at long multiplication before. Okay, this is the standard way to do it, and this is what we're aiming for. Hopefully, in the next few days and weeks, we're all going to be confident doing long multiplication. But let's see. Okay. Now, again, we're going to think about our numbers as being partitions. So I know we've got 31 and 23, but we're going to think about them as 30 and 1, 20 and 3. Okay. So we're going to start by multiplying by the 1. 1 times 3, and we can see we've already done all of these answers. So this is where they're going to go in the question. 1 times 3 is 3. And then 1 times the 2 tens. So 1 times 2 is, oops, not moving. There we go, 2. So one lot of 2 tens is 2 tens. Okay. Now, if we look at the next row, this time we're doing the 3 here, but remember, this is a 30. This is not a 3, this is a 30. It's 3 tens. Okay. So we're going to do 30 times 3. And 30 times 3, we know from our grid over here, is 90. Okay, so we're going to put 90 there. And then we've got the 30 again, multiplied by the 20. And if we look over here, 30 times 20 is 600. So we need a 6 in the hundreds column there. And then all we do is we add these two numbers together. 3 and 0 is 3. 2 and 9 is 11. So 1 goes in there. So we've got 1 10. And we've got 10 tens, which make 100. That's going to come across 6, 0 or nothing plus 6 plus the 100 that we've exchanged and brought across gives us 7. 713. So just the same answer, but a slightly different method. Okay, I hope that does make sense. We'll have another look at a couple more together. Let's have a look at this one. 41 multiplied by 26. We're going to start with our ones. 6 times 1. Have a think. Maybe have a quick go at this one yourself. Okay. So 6 times 1 is 6. Then 6 times 40. Remember, we're in the tens column now. So 6 times 40 is 240. So we've got a 4 there in our tens column. We've got a 2 in the hundreds column. We've not used it yet. We've just exchanged it and brought it across. So, and then we've got 6 times, well, there's nothing there. So 6 times nothing is nothing, plus the 2 hundreds that we've brought across means we've got a 2 hundreds there. Okay, so 6 times 41 is 246. We're now going to move to this part of the question, the 20. We're now going to do 41 times 20. Remember, it's not a 2, this is 20. 20 times 1 is 20. 20 times 40. 20 times 40. Well, 2 times 4 is 8. We've got 2 zeros in the question, so we've got 2 zeros in the answer. So 20 times 40 will be 800, and we can put that into the hundreds column there. And then finally, we just add through. So we're going to have 6. 4 tens and 2 tens is 6 tens. 2 hundreds plus 8 hundreds is 10 hundreds. So 0 in the hundreds column, and 1 will go into the thousands column here. 41 times 26 is 1066. Right, take a moment to look at this question, because our little tortoise friend thinks that 32 times 46 is 320. Does that sound sensible? Have a moment. Oops. Sorry, let's go back to that one. Hopefully you've realized that he's made a little mistake. Let's quickly work it through. 6 times 2 is 12. So he's put a 2 here. Carried is 1. 6 times 3, or 6 times 3 tens, is 18 tens, plus the one that we carried is 19. So 192, that bit is correct. Here's the problem. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. But this isn't a 4, remember, guys. This is 40. There is a 0 in that question. So that we should have a 0 in front of here. So these 3 digits, the 1, 2, and 8, should be moved across here. We should have the 1 in the thousands, the 2 in the hundreds, the 8 in the tens, and then a 0 as our space holder, making everything 10 times bigger, because this is 40, not 4. So our tortoise friend has made a mistake there. This should be 192 plus 1,280. And that's going to give a very, very different answer. Right. Some for you to have a go at. Everybody should be able to have a really good go at question 1. And we should have a go at most of question 2. I do realize some of these are quite tricky, but we should all be able to have a go at most of this page. Pause the computer and have a go. Okay, let's have a look. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 60, a very similar question. We've just got 1 extra 0 in the question, so we're going to have 1 extra 0 in the answer. Same here. 12 times 8 is 96. 12 times 80, we've got an extra 0, so we need a 0 in the answer. 32 times 3, well, there's 96. 32 times 30, there's a 0 in the question. Let's add a 0 into our answer, make it 10 times bigger. 7 times 9 is 63. So 7 times 90 is 63 with a 0. Okay, 90 is 10 times bigger than this, so the answer needs to be 10 times bigger. 21 times 4 is 84. So 21 times 40 needs to be 10 times bigger, 840. And finally, quite a tricky one, 48 times 3 is 144. So that means 48 times 30 needs to be 10 times bigger, 1,440. Well done if you got all 12 of those correct. Great job. Question 2. Most of the work was done for you on question 2. All you needed to do was add it through. 9 plus 0 is 9. 2 tens plus 3 tens is 5 tens. And then 1 plus 4, so 100 plus 400 is 500. Okay. B, again, you need to do the addition at the end. 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 tens and 1 10 is 310. 100 and 200 is 300. But you also were asked to show what each of these two answers represented. So the first one is showing us the 6 times the 21. And the second one is showing us the 10 times 21. Make sure you've written 10 there and not 1. Remember, it is a 10. It's not a 1. And finally, on this one, this is a tricky one, 2C, because it's giving you part of the answer. You need to, it gives you the questions there. So what would the original sum look like? Well, this is the partition bit, the 5 and the 20. So that means our bottom number is 25. The top number is given to us. So 21 at the top, 25 at the bottom. And then adding them together, units or ones, 5 and 0 is 5. No tens and 2 tens is 2 tens. And 100 plus 400 is 500. Okay. Well done if you've got those correct. That's a great job. Right. A little bit of area work now. Tommy wants to find the area of the pink part of this rectangle. Okay, so the whole area without these two white bits. So that's the idea. Okay, have a think. Right. Well, I think we're going to start by working out the area of the whole thing. Okay, so the big outside rectangle, let's work out the area of that. And we'll do that by doing 35, which is how long it is, multiplied by 16, which is how wide. 35 times 16. We'll start by 35 times 6. So 6 times 5 is 30. We put our 0 into the ones, and we exchange. We bring our 3 tens across. And then we're going to do 6 times 3 tens. Well, 6 times 3 is 18, plus the 3 will be 21. So 6 times 35 is 210. Now we're going to do the 35 times 10. You can probably do that one in your head. 35 times 10. Well, 10 times 5 is 50, and 10 times 30 is 300. Add them through. 0 and 0 is 0. 1 and 5 tens is 6 tens. 2 and 3 hundreds is 5 hundreds. So the total area is 560 centimeters squared. But we don't want these bits, the cutout bits. So we need to work those out and take them away. So one of them is going to be 12 multiplied by 7. Well, we might know that from our times tables. 12 times 7 is 84. We've got 2 of them. So we need 2 lots of 84, which is 168. And now all we need to do, I say all we need to do, quite a tricky calculation, is take the big area, the 560, and take away 2 little areas, which is 168. So our final answer, the area that is pink, will be 392 centimeters squared. Remember that little 2 tells us that it's area. Okay, now it's your turn. Pause the video and have a go at these written calculations. Okay. Here are your answers. So Mo failed to set out his question correctly. He didn't put that 0 in. We talked about it before. He treated the 2 as a 2 instead of 2 tens. He needed to put in the 0. So it should be 102 add 680. There is the correction. Number 4, those are your 4 answers. Very, very impressed if you got all 4 of those. And then the machine prints 92 labels every minute. How many in 3/4 of an hour? So for this, you need to know how many minutes in 3/4 of an hour. Well, there's 45. So there's your calculation, 92 multiplied by 45. And if you've done that one correctly, you'll have got 4,140. These are big numbers, guys. Very, very tricky math. So well done. You're getting these correct. But please do post your work so I can have a look and see what we're finding straightforward and what we maybe need to look at again. And final one before you go. Here are 2 rectangles. The grey one is 26 by 47, and the white one is 16 by 25. We've got 2 shapes here. I want you to work out the area of each by doing some multiplication. So this one, A, it's a grey shape plus 2 white shapes. So what would that be all together? And B is the grey shape, take away the white shape. So what would that be? Pause the video, have a go at those. There you go. So the grey shape, 26 meters long, 47 wide, the white shape, 60 meters long, 25 wide. So for A, you need to work out the white shapes are 16 multiplied by 25, which is 400. But there's 2 of them. So the 2 white shapes together would be 800 meters squared. And then the grey shape is 26 multiplied by 47, which is 1,222. So altogether, 800 plus 1,222 would be 2,022 meters squared. There's your answer. And for B, we need to know the area of the grey shape. Well, we've already worked that out, so we can use this maths again. 1,222, and we know that a white shape is 400. But this time we're doing a takeaway. Our final answer will be 822 meters squared. Now, these are very tricky questions, guys. Please do not worry if you're not sure about these. These are things you are going to revisit for the rest of year 5 and into year 6. Okay, so do your best, but as I say, please upload your work so I can see how you're getting on. That's the end of the lesson. Well done. Stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.